In remote parts of the world, there are still people who live with little or no contact with our hyper-connected society. Peru's Amazon rainforest, second in size only to Brazil's, is one of those places. So-called uncontacted tribes or indigenous people living in isolation in Peru have been protected by law for many years. I saw them in 2015 when I reported for CGTN on the Mashco-Piro, an isolated group on the edge of Manu National Park. Peru is one of a handful of countries which have people who continue to live isolated from the rest of human society. Anthropologists have identified some 25 groups living in the country's Amazon, and reserves have been created to protect them. But one lawmaker representing a group of lobbies is trying to do away with those protections. That Congressman, Jorge Morante, has put forward a bill to modify the law which protects them. He told CGTN there was no scientific evidence that they exist in Peru's largest Amazon region, Loreto.
For the time being, in the Loreto region, the information is totally inaccurate. Let's say it is referential information. There is no direct evidence.
But Daniel Vela, an indigenous Matses leader living in that region near the border with Brazil, says he's seen isolated people and has traveled to Lima to fight for them.
They
are our relatives, our family members, you could say. We are very worried about how we will be able to protect them.
He sees the bill as a ploy to open up some 4 million hectares of rainforest currently protected in 7 reserves.
Behind this bill, there are many businessmen who want to extract timber, mining, and oil, and we are not going to be silent. We are going to fight until this bill is eliminated.
Morante's bill proposes that responsibility for the protection of isolated people will be transferred from Peru's culture ministry to regional governments. That would mean a reserve could be created or undone by a regional bylaw rather than by a supreme decree. Anthropologists say such a measure could spell disaster for the vulnerable people who have no immunity to illnesses such as the common cold.
The
risk is so worrying and sad. It would mean the loss of indigenous peoples in isolation and initial contact. We're talking about promoting their extinction, and that extinction would be based on the laws of the state itself through the Congress of the Republic.
Their future lies in the hands of Peru's deeply unpopular Congress, which must vote on whether to halt the bill or pass it into law. Dan Collyns, CGTN, Lima.
Coming up.